So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed. I'm your host Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight again. So a little update for you. 2 days before the world collectively honored the men and women who lost their lives during the World War I and II on the observance known as Memorial or Remembrance Day, Trinidad and Tobago paid tribute to the fallen soldiers at the base in Memorial Park in Port of Spain and at St. James Park in Tobago on Sunday. Tobago War veterans were honored on Sunday with the annual Remembrance Day wreath laying ceremony held at James Park in Scarborough. This year's program saw an abridged version with the elimination of a parade and a reduction in the number of wreaths laid. For another year, Tobago's last remaining war veteran, 99 years old Lester Cortex, resident Iman Legal, was honored during a reception at the Assembly Legislature. So Trinidad and Tobago, as we celebrate the men and women who died fighting for the rights of the country, let's not forget World War I and II. You might have your grandfather, your great-great-grandfather, extended families may have been veterans. We do want to congratulate them for the service they provided, risking their life every day just to make sure the men and women are safe around the world. Also, the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission, TNTEC, has deployed a mutual aid team to Jamaica to support power restoration efforts following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. The team departed on Monday, was received by Barry Shiva Padarat, Minister of Public Utilities, Clyde Elder, Minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities, and Shivan Sam, Parliamentary Secretary in the Minister of Public Utilities at the Airport Diplomatic Lounge, Piaco International. According to the Ministry of Public Utilities, Padarat will offer a word of encouragement and support to the team, recognizing their dedication, commitment, and hard work as they assist Jamaica in restoring essential electricity service. Hurricane Melissa made landfall in Jamaica on October 28th as a Category 5 storm with sustained winds at around 185 miles per hour. The death toll on the island has reached at least 32 people. True officials says the number may rise. So viewers, we want to congratulate the team that is heading out to Jamaica to support our neighboring countries in restoring their country after that storm. So back here in Trinidad, over 200 people gathered at Woodford Square, Port of Spain, last evening for a vigil of peace, where activists, faith leader, and a representative of civil society joined in solemn to show of solidarity, calling for peace across the Caribbean and in the region. Participants held placard while urging the region to stand firm in its commitment to remain a zone of peace amidst tension between the United States and Venezuela. So Trinidad and Tobago, apparently we seem to be misled, I should say. So I want to ask the question. To these 200 or more individuals who gathered with leaders and representatives and civil society, ensuring solidarity and calling for peace in the Caribbean region. How many of these individuals marched the streets, listen to me carefully, marched the streets of Trinidad demanding peace in the land? How many activists, faith leaders, and representatives of civil society plan to march the land for the human trafficking to stop, for the illegal firearm to stop, for the home invasion to stop, for the gang-related murders to stop, for the domestic violence to stop, for school violence to stop. How many of them gathered on the streets here in the last few years demanding peace on the land? On the land. We're not talking about the sea. We're talking about fighting for the land. The peace on the land. How many of them? How many? Now, one will say, oh, Saeed, they're doing that good and you're blasting them. I will blast them. I will blast them. You want to know why? The drugs on the corner, the cocaine, the marijuana, the molly, the white powder, them are marching in the community to fix their community. They want to go up in the savannah to march for killing taking place where drug traffickers, cartels transporting the very drugs that destroy the community. They're marching for the people in the on the sea. They're marching for the drug cartels on the sea. That's what they're marching for. Have you ever seen Kamala Persad-Bissessar threaten Venezuela? I want to ask you that. Have you ever seen that? All the media houses, TV stations, radio, printed press, they highlighting Maduro wants to attack Trinidad. If the U.S. attack them, if the U.S. attack Venezuela, what does that have to do with Trinidad and Tobago? We have our English tongue in our mouth, but apparently we cannot understand the English that we are speaking. Our ears cannot comprehend the very same English that we are speaking, or talking, or communicating with our English brothers and sisters. We can't seem to understand this. You ever see Trump blame the United States for what is taking place in the water? No. You ever see the Venezuelan government blame the United States? No, they are not doing that. They are threatening Trinidad. Why are they threatening Trinidad? Why can't Maduro and his government label the United States? They're calling for peace on the sea. A zone of peace. Let me tell you something. The cartels are shipping illegal narcotics and firearms to Trinidad and Tobago. We ain't seen nobody marching for the peace in Trinidad. They're marching for the peace in the Caribbean and the region. Outside you're bashing them. I will bash them. I will bash them. Why they don't march and tell Maduro to stop threatening the government of Trinidad and Tobago? Because the government of Trinidad and Tobago is not blowing up the drug cartel ships outside. It's sad, It's really sad. You see, I have nothing to fear because I am not in the drug trade. That's the difference. And my job, being on television, for the last 8 years, as a media personnel, as a talk show host, as we go live, my job is to tell you the correct thing, not to mama guy you and not to flip the script. That is not my job. My job is not to sweep them things under the carpet. That is not my job. My job is to come here to educate you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Who declared war on the drug cartels? So sometimes we must understand what is taking place in our own country and exactly understand what you're standing for. A zone of peace. Drug cartels, shipping, cocaine, marijuana, illegal firearm, human trafficking to the Caribbean countries. But which government plans to stop it? Which government plans to eradicate it? Which government plans to secure the border that these things would not enter the country and cause confusion and killing and gang-related killing in the community? But they're marching for peace in the Caribbean. They can't march for peace in the community, but they're marching for peace in the Caribbean. The drugs coming in Trinidad. Anybody marching for peace? Anybody marching to get illegal firearm off the streets? Outside, you're bashing them. I will bash them. They are Trinbagonians. I am a Trinbagonian man also. I am a businessman and I am a father right here in Trinidad and Tobago. My son was almost kidnapped 4 years ago. Well, almost 5 now. Right here. Anybody march for peace right here in Trinidad? Which one of them marching? Which faith minister? Which community leader? Going and march with thousands of people on the street to get the guns off the street. Which one? How much are them? Activists. Political leader of the MSJ, David Abdullah, said, "The vigil was born out of need to create a space where ordinary citizens could gather peacefully to express their concerns about the growing regional tension." Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The sea was calm. The cartels were using the sea to transport their product to the Caribbean countries. But Donald Trump decided, you know what? Enough of that nonsense coming into the United States. And he decided to stop it from entering the United States. How many governments decided to stop it completely from coming into their country? How much Caribbean in the zone of peace decided to do it? Outside, don't say that. You're going up against government ministers. Well, if I have to be the only one standing, trust me, I will do it. Because none of them decided to stop it completely from coming into their country and causing havoc in their community, in their country. MSJ marching on the land, you know. Here marching on the land. But he marching to save the cartel that transported it. And they call it the zone of peace. Anyhow, I wouldn't take much too much time of that now, but before we go to our next story, listen to this video.
We the people have to say so. we have to say that's not what we want. And because we also have a lot of deep concerns about the audacity in my mind of the United States that, the government of the US, which believes it is okay, they come into our region, blow up ships, kill people, and we know that it has reached past 60 now, without any repercussion. Something is wrong with that.
Moving along from that, while the government has remained mum on the Joint Trade Union movement JTUM support for yesterday's Zone of Peace rally, the opposition commend the union stance for peace in the country. The opposition support them, but what was the opposition doing to create peace within the country? For the last 4 years, home invasion has been on the increase. Drug trafficking has been on the increase. Human trafficking has been on the increase. Domestic violence have been on the increase. Murder in the communities have been on the increase. But the opposition support 200 people marching. What did the opposition do to stop the drug trade from coming to Trinidad? Can the opposition say what? You see, we have to understand the reality of what is taking place in our country. In our country. Not in our next country, In our country. Opposition Chief Whip Marvin Gonzalez said he was happy JTUM hasn't allowed itself to be boxed in by the UNC reckless and irresponsible policy of anti-crime posture on this matter. Imagine a former Minister of National Security say he was pleased with them. But what did he do as a former Minister of National Security to fix the illegal trade in the community? What did he do? What did he do? How much Coast Guard vessel was working under their ministry? How was the community under his ministry? How was the community under Fitzgerald Hines? So compare two of them now from the PNM to Gary Gifford under the UNC. Somebody say something. Say something. We have competent meet incompetent. Incompetent. But all you want to tell me, oh side, you're bashing? Imagine, you can't even walk out your house door because they're getting robbed right in front of your doorstep. Right in front of your doorstep, you're getting robbed as you jump out your house. Where the match? Where JTUM on the match? Somebody say something. Oh, side, you're bashing them. No, according to Marvin, support also came from Venezuela for yesterday's peace rally at Woodford Square in Port of Spain. Support came from Venezuela. That's the same country we nearly get sanctioned because doing business with them, I have nothing against Venezuela, I want you to understand that. I have nothing against Venezuela. The war is between Venezuela and Donald Trump administration. That is the war. You feel Trinidad had no war? And think again. Think again. We have war going on in the communities. We have war going on with the gangsters right here in Trinidad and Tobago. We have war going on with what? With what again? Gang leaders right here. This one want to shoot down that one for the turf. That one want to shoot down this one because somebody get robbed. And so it's going on. They're fighting for the community turf. And that is what is taking place. But we see any march for that? Trump decided to stand up and say, you know what? I want no drugs coming in my country. And seeing that I have power to launch an attack, I'm launching an attack in the sea. Donald Trump invade any country? You see Donald Trump invade Venezuela? No. Did you see Donald Trump invade any Caribbean countries? No. Common sense will tell you they are attacking the drug transshipment on international waters. Common sense, and that is my reporting. That is my reporting. Who is threatening Trinidad and Tobago? Venezuela. Venezuela is threatening Trinidad and Tobago. Venezuela couldn't see about their own economy. Thousands of Venezuelans left Venezuela under Maduro regime. They had to flee for survival in different Caribbean countries. We have opened up the door for them. Open up the door for them. They left their country by the thousands, by the boatload coming to Trinidad. Did you see boatloads of Trinidadians going to Venezuela to save themselves from Trinidad? No, you didn't see that. But they want to bomb their government across there. You see the reality of the fact of the matter. People are afraid to tell the truth. They are afraid that somebody might come after them. I'm telling you point blank, come after me. I'm telling you to come. I encourage you to come. For speaking the truth, I will die for speaking the truth. It's sad, you know. It's really, really sad how we as a Trinidadian, what is taking place in our own country, we can't march for it. Jatam got more than say, well, you know what? We're keeping a march for peace in the land of Trinidad. We're keeping a march against domestic violence, a march against cocaine, a march against illegal firearms. They're marching for the sea like somebody living on the sea outside. Like somebody living on the sea. I don't know why they play like Jesus and walk out on the water and start to shake hand and thing. Make cook all outside in the water. It's stinking sad. There's only one thing you could do, you know. There's only one thing you could do is hate Saieed for talking the truth. That's the only thing you could do. Other than that, you can't do me nothing. And I could tell you that live on national television. You can't do me nothing. Because the truth will always set you free. Always. Nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, switching gears a bit, enough about them and their wasteless thing. The legal battle between former Finance Minister Clungenberg and the Auditor General Jayawanthy Ramdas described as a communication issue. But his successor, Senator Vishnu Danpal, is set to cost the state more than $2 million. The months-long legal dispute creates tension over the independence of the Auditor General office in monitoring the operation of the then administration. At a recent press conference, Danpal was questioned on the government spending, the practices, and asked about the prudence of the legal expenditure. Listen to this.
I would say I would reserve judgment on that, because firstly I wasn't around, and secondly it should not have been that way in the first place. It was the way I saw it from outside, a communication issue that could be handled much better.
Between both parties?
Between both parties, easily. Once a Minister of Finance cannot communicate with the Auditor General, our country is in big trouble.
Miscommunication, he said. Miscommunication that not supposed to happen. But in the auditor's report, leading up to the last, Jayawanthy Ramdas is probably still waiting on documents, receipts for money that was spent. But he said miscommunication. We have a call? Caller, good night.
Good night, Saieed.
Go right ahead, your line.
I don't understand, sir. Why is it that you have the PNM in collusion with the media, sir, all out relentlessly attacking this government? Why, what is there? You know, they are feeling like with this peace, we must remain a zone of peace. All right, we let us remain zone of peace, and we will have 600-700 murder again for the year. Is this what they want? Is this what people is talking about? What zone of peace when you have all these kind of crime that was taking place? Look at the drastic reduction in crime. Look at the mammoth reduction. Look at the blueprint of the revitalization program. Why can't people, let us aspire to be like first world country? This is where Kamala Prasad is going to take us. But no, the PNM don't want that. They are fear-mongering and they are very good at spreading bad news. So, one thing I would give the PNM credit for, sir, they are extremely good to make wrong things look right and right things look wrong. I must give them credit for that. With their propaganda and all this stuff. So I am calling on the public, the general population tonight, don't take heed of the propaganda propagated by the PNM and this media, sir. I am begging the population, or else we will be worse off than Haiti. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So, switching gears, viewers. Not switching gears, but I'll stay on the same topic. So, listen to this now, A recent press conference by Dan Paul said miscommunication. But listen to this, A Freedom of Information request obtained by the media revealed that the matter has already cost taxpayers more than $2 million in legal fees, covered jointly by the Ministry of Finance and the Office of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs. According to the Freedom of Information Act, the Finance Ministry has been invoiced for $1,685,921.73, but has only paid $1,059,607.48 to date. The ministry has not yet received an invoice from Senior Counsel Douglas Mendoza for work done before the Privy Council. Attempts to reach Imbert for comment on the legal fees were unsuccessful. Calls to his phone went to voicemail and text messages were not returned. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles also did not respond to question about whether she considered Imbert's decision to pursue the matter financially prudent. Imagine that, Wow. Call a good night.
Mr. Said, great program as usual from a great soul, and I will always say that you are such a great program, and I wish those TNTech people and all of those who go to Jamaica to return home safely, achieve what they're going there to do and achieve a return home back safely. But for the last 5 months, the residents of St. Julian Village and Mango Road reporting 2 street lights to TNTech to be repaired for the last 5 months, and nothing has been done. So I wish TNTech employees return safely so that they could repair these lights, these 2 lights when they return. So I know the politicians listen to your program. Yeah, we want first world standard. Certainly, we applaud it. But when you can't fix a street light, 5 months, 5 months reporting a street light almost every day, twice, 2-3 times a week. I myself did the reporting and getting people to send where they want photos on the phone and all kind of thing. Anyway, that is that. Mr. Conman Gavero, you're threatening the citizens now. Why you do your work? You threatening the citizens and telling the citizens the vengeance of Moko will fall on them. You write in your head, if you don't know, every crime in this country, every lawless act, every kidnapping is connected to the police service, as you even see today, highlighted on the program before your program is aside. So Gavero, you don't look at this program, look at Real Talk, advise, and the officers in the service advise Gavero to look at Real Talk and the other programs so he will understand what's happening in this country. You spending too much time hunting, yeah, no problem, but from Friday to Sunday night you in the bush hunting, you have more dogs than canine. You don't care about national security issues in this country and threatening the citizen because the police service has the most notorious gang. If you don't know that, those little boys you hold, all of them going to the people waiting to go and say they have no case to answer, no questions to answer. The people waiting, they all will benefit from over $300,000 plus each in this country. So, Governor, get your act together, and the citizens paying you, you know. Get your act together and start showing that you're working, you know, with all this home vision every day in this country. Mr. Said, you keep up the great work you're doing. My God bless you on your program, Mr. Said.
Thank you, my friend. So, Trinidad and Tobago, before we go to CARICOM News, we are going for a short commercial break, but stay locked on. More after this.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you. To be you. To be you. To be you.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
Caller, good night.
A very, very good evening to you, Mr. Said.
To you, my friend, you're live. Go right ahead.
I just want to be quick tonight. So, I would like to make a few suggestions to the authorities.
Yes.
One, the fight of crime is becoming as crime is spiraling again.
Yes.
And you see number plates. The great Jack Warner had suggested RF plates, radio frequency plates, but let's say that is a costly exercise to do now. Nobody should be allowed to go to any place and order number plates without your certified copy. They should make that a rule. If you don't have your certified copy, you can't get plates. The canine division in Caroni is very underutilized. They just have the dogs eating and exercising there. You need to have your canine. Like in the mall the other day when the guys escaped, the dog would have come in very handy. And finally, your caller's call, the one who called before, he has made pertinent contributions and whatnot.
But he came a little nervous just now. He must refrain. I hope all you understand. He must refrain from saying things like what he just said, like calling the commissioner of police a conman. That is a serious allegation. So he needs to know a little better than that. All the best. Have a great evening.
Thank you, my friend. Former Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Amy Brown have stated that this country cannot afford to serve itself from the region. He insists that Trinidad and Tobago needs to be part of CARICOM, emphasizing that the bloc's solidarity is essential. In the face of raging geopolitical tension, threats from Venezuela, and hard stance of the United States, Dr. Brown argues the alignment with CARICOM and this time should be non-negotiable. Listen to this.
This country needs the CARICOM market and the solidarity moving forward for its development. Apparently, Kamala Prasad successor is the only head of government in our region that would have made the calculation that you surmise in your question, that would have led to Trinidad and Tobago being isolated from CARICOM in this month.
Now, Brown, we understand you, right? We understand you. But listen to this. Both the Foreign Affairs Minister and the Minister of National Security have stated that the United States airstrike was carried out as part of a U.S. military operation and that Trinidad and Tobago has no direct involvement in those activities. Now, what I want you all to understand, does CARICOM support what Trump is doing? So far, no. No, they don't. But has any CARICOM country tried to prevent the drugs from coming into their country? So I want Brown to sit down and sleep on that. Sit down and think, and then sleep, and then sit down and sleep again and think about that. And ask yourself, Mr. Brown, if your party and the Minister of National Security, how much work did they put into getting the borders of Trinidad and Tobago safe, a country where you yourself lives? That's to start with. So, my other thing is that, did Trinidad and Tobago strike any cartel boat? No. Did CARICOM strike any cartel boat? No. So who are we blaming for this? CARICOM? Are we blaming Trinidad and Tobago? No, we can't. So why don't Brown take up this matter as a former minister? Why don't you fly out with your team and go and meet Donald Trump and his team and hear what they will tell you? Hey, they might insult you. They might insult you. Because they might ask you, when you were in power, what did you do to fix the drug trade in your country? You're coming to tell us what to do? You see, and that is the difference. That is the difference between people who actually want to get a job done rather than just sitting down in a corner and bragging your mouth. That is the difference. Don't forget Trinidad and Tobago. PNM Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines said it is not his job to make all you feel safe. Always remember that. Always remember that. Now, meanwhile, there have been calls for the government to investigate the suspected death of 2 TT nationals said to have been on one of the vessels that was bombed. However, government minister maintained that it is not the role of the government to initiate such an investigation, but rather the responsibility of the families to make an official report to the authorities. Dr. Brown offered his position on the matter. Listen to Brown.
Well, if Trinidad and Tobago had no rules, it would not be publicly supporting the military strike and publicly supporting the build-up of this armada. I listen to Minister Sobers as well. And once again, this is unprecedented, where you'd have a government minister displaying a very cavalier attitude to a serious development that any other country would take very seriously.
I tell you something, I ain't go tell Brown nothing. I ain't go tell Brown nothing. Because when England said we have to get a visa to enter their country, who was Brown at the time? Oh, let's say something. And we go leave it right there. Former Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Amy Brown, a PNM Minister, New Stuart Young, were doing business with a sanctioned country and did not tell Trinidad and Tobago nothing. Brown did not come out and tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that we dealing business with a sanctioned country could get sanctioned from the United States. And if we did get sanctioned, let me tell you something, every company from outside Trinidad and Tobago doing business in Trinidad would have packed up and leave. Where was Amy Brown? Supporting Stuart Young. Supporting Stuart Young. There where Amy's support was. You think them could face me? No, they can't. I have nothing in the skeleton. But I had no skeleton in the closet. I have nothing under the carpet. I just always say that, otherwise I would not be here. But nevertheless, on the government recent unveiling revitalization blueprint, Dr. Amy Brown says that while small nations must have big plans, those plans must also meet the real needs of the citizens. Amy, why don't shut your mouth? Listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, if Trinidad and Tobago had no rules, it would not be publicly supporting the military strike and publicly supporting the build-up of this armada. I listen to Minister Sobers as well. And once again, this is unprecedented, where you'd have a government minister displaying a very cavalier attitude to a serious development that any other country would take very seriously.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, before we move on tonight, I only laughing at them jokers and them, because when they was there, they had all the power in their head and in their tongue and in their hand, but ask them what they did. Ask them what they did so that the citizens now could benefit from it. Trinidad and Tobago, we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, PNM scoff of revitalization plan. More when we return.
We'll be right back.